Yesterday. She picked a piece of lint off her skirt. You didn't tell him about this weekend, did you? No, but he's not happy with you right now. He said you're terrible with returning phone calls. Keilah sighed and stared down at her Jimmy Choo pumps, and so did Ramsey. Nice shoes. She smiled and said, Thank you. Call your brother, Keilah. I told him I would give you the message. I will. I'm sorry he called you. He winked at her and said, No bother. We had a nice talk. Ramsey was about 6'4" and sinfully handsome. His erect posture and polite nature radiated a military background, and he was a valued asset to their company's success. Their friendship was unbreakable, and at 30 years old, he was still single, dating heavily, but a serious relationship was the last thing on his list. It wasn't hard for him to attract women with his winning smile and cinnamon skin. The diamond stud in his ear gleamed just as brightly as his smile, and his short wavy hair and dimples had women constantly swooning. It didn't hurt that he could rock a business suit like a model, and the navy suit he had on radiated confidence. Ramsey opened the folder again and looked at the report. Have you found out when the hearing's going to be for Diamond's son? I'm going to call today. That kid almost made me put him in the morgue. Quentin told me he was working on getting his son's attitude in check, and I'm sure it's going to be hard for him to get him out of this mess. Ramsey tucked the folder under his arm. You're right. It might be too little too late, and he messed with the wrong two women this time. I'm sure Armelia's dad is going to push this to the full extent of the law. Oh, no doubt, Ramsey. Keilah walked back over to her desk and opened a drawer. She pulled out the newspaper and held it out to him. We made the paper. I'm just glad our names were kept out of it, but I'm sure the entertainment magazines will have a field day with it once they find out how Quentin is connected. Ramsey frowned as he read the article. He laid the newspaper on Keilah's desk. Well, I'm glad you and Armelia weren't injured. That's what's important. You're right, Ramsey. He walked toward the door, but stopped and turned around. By the way, you look beautiful today. I also like the way you're wearing your hair. She blushed. Thanks, Ramsey. He looked at his watch and smiled. Don't forget the planning meeting at 10 o'clock in the conference room. And I have a spot reserved for us to do some target shooting this evening at 6 o'clock if you're up for it. Sounds good. See you at the meeting, she replied as she typed on her computer. Call Luke, he reminded her before closing the door behind him. As soon as Ramsey left the room, Keilah picked up her telephone and returned Luke's call. At the 10 o'clock meeting, Ramsey and Keilah went over the events of the weekend as well as upcoming assignments. The meeting lasted for about 2 hours, and once it was over, lunch was served. A nearby restaurant catered the lunch, which included avocado egg rolls, sirloin salad, quesadillas, calamari, and buffalo wings. Keilah didn't eat nearly as much as everyone else, so she finished lunch first. Before heading back to her office, she walked over to Ramsey, who was refilling his plate. Ramsey, when you finish lunch, stop by my office. I want to talk to you about something. Ramsey stacked a couple of buffalo wings and some calamari on his plate and then smiled. Okay, I'll see you shortly. Shortly for Ramsey was another 30 minutes, but he finally made it to Keilah's office. He loosened his necktie as he walked in. What's up, Keilah? She looked up and saw him fumbling with his tie. You look full. He sat down, then grabbed his stomach. I overdid it, as usual. She printed out some reports and laughed. I'm sure you'll work it off in the gym. Ramsey could tell she was hesitating, but knowing her like he did, he knew she wouldn't hesitate long. He picked out a piece of peppermint candy from the dish on her desk and stared at her. So why are you looking like the cat who ate the canary? What's going on? What do you want to talk to me about? She finally looked at him. I need a favor, and I know it's going to feel like it's coming out of left field, but hear me out. Sure, what is it? He replied. Well, you know me and Trent broke up about 4 months ago, and since then, I just haven't been lucky enough to meet anyone else, she explained. Ramsey curiously listened to her. Keilah had become somewhat of a workaholic since her relationship with Howard University professor